Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Oluwabusayomi A and I film content from Lagos, Nigeria. Please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell below so that you can get notified anytime I post new content, new videos. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming. You're an OG as usual. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this is the third episode of our investment series. If you have been following up with the investment series, you will know that I've posted two previous videos where I talked about the investment terminologies and type of investors. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the type of investment. I'm sure this is the video that you guys have been waiting for, right? So I'm going to be talking about the type of investment that we have do. And if you don't know what to do, grab your seat, grab a glass of juice, wine, water, or anything that you can lay your hands on, and please get your pen and book. I have mine here. This is my book and this is my pen. So grab your pen and book and jot things down to learn one or two from this video. And please, if you know someone that is really keen or interested in investment, please do well to share this video to them. Let's save it for later, and please don't forget to drop a comment because I would like and love to read from you. So without further ado, let's get right into today's video. As we all know, investing can actually be intimidating at times because we have several securities that we can invest in. We have several options. We have several investment options that has high interest. So we might be confused at times as to what type of investment that we can go into and at what particular time that we can go into such or that we can invest in such financial securities, right? So this video is just to guide you through and explain to you or enlighten you more on the type of investment, the tenor, the minimum amount that you can invest in, and you will also have to do well for yourself by researching more on that particular investment before you go into it, right? So the first type of investment I'll be talking about in today's video is stocks. So stock is a company share, right? So you are buying like a particular percentage of the company's assets and profit. So anytime the company make profits or they declare profits, they also pay you, per the interest that you bought. So the way stocks work, right, it varies on companies. You can get a minimum for, it can be 150 naira per shares, it can be 160 naira, it can be 200 naira per shares, depending on the company that is offering their stocks for sale to the public. How much that they are willing to sell that shares, that unit of shares, and it depends on how much you are also willing to buy from the shares that they are selling. So let's say per share that they have is 150 naira per share, and they're buying 150,000 naira shares. So that means that you are buying 1,000 shares of the company. So when they are paying their profit, I think they pay their profit quarterly. So when they are paying their profits, you get your own interest per the number of shares that you bought in that company. Both the asset and the profit of the company, you have already bought it based on the number of shares that you bought in the company, and literally that means that you are also part of the owners of the company. That means that you own part of the company, right? Before a company can offer their stocks for sale, that means that they have to be a publicly traded company and they have to be listed on the stock exchange market. So that's where you can see the list of companies that can sell shares, or list of companies that are selling shares, list of companies that are selling shares currently and how much they are selling their shares, right? And then now decide on how much shares that you are buying in that company. So you can check out the list of companies that sells their shares that I'm aware of. We have MTN, we have Cadbury, Airtel, Dangote, BUA and NESO. You can also browse more and check more, and also search on the Security Exchange Committee website, where you can check the list of companies that are verified to sell their shares, and also check on how much they sell their shares before you invest in such company. We have here is bond. So bond is basically you lending money to an entity or a government. So it depends. You can buy a private bond and you can buy a public bond. For the public bond, we have the federal government of Nigerian bond, right, which comes up like almost every time when the government needs money and they want to mop up money from the public. So like they want to borrow money from the public, they issue out the bonds. So you can, and this bond is being issued out through the Central Bank of Nigeria, right? So before you can buy government bond, you have to go through the CBN. Interest of bonds are paid quarterly and they are low risk investment, as well as stocks too can be low risk investment, but it depends on the company that you are buying their shares. So you need to really do your research before you buy a company's shares. We have mutual funds. So the way mutual funds work is a pool of many investors fund that they invest broadly in quite a number of companies. So for this mutual fund, we can have a passive mutual fund and an active mutual fund. Please do well to check my first video to learn more about these terminologies that I'm using in this video. An active mutual fund, you have an active fund manager that help you to track investments, look out for high interest, high return investment that generate high return, and then they put your money into it. Whereas for the passive investment, you are the one looking out for yourself. You're not necessarily concerned about the interest that will be paid. You just want somewhere that you can put your money, and then you know that your principal is guaranteed and nothing is going to happen to your principal. The interest rates, you are not really concerned. But for the active one, you want a fund manager to help you look out for an high interest investment where you can generate more income, right, for yourself and for your investment. So either be a low risk investment and high risk investment. So it depends on which one you are going into. So for the companies that engage in mutual fund, you can check out Stanbic IBTC, AXA Mansard, which I use currently, and you can also check out Mutual Benefits. And you can also do your research on more other companies that are engaged in mutual funds. The fourth on my list is fixed deposit or certificate of deposit. So the way fixed deposit works, you buy or you invest in the bank, right? You can invest for the period of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, or 365 days. The highest you can invest is 365 days, and then you get a particular percentage at the end of the maturity. Both your principal and interest is paid at maturity. But currently, because of the inflation and the economic because of the inflation, right, interest rate on fixed deposits is very, very low. It's as low as 3%, 2%. So you may actually not want to consider that if you're an active investor. But if you're a passive investor that you do mind, you may want to consider it. But it depends on the amount that you're putting as well. You can as well in fixed deposit, you can get as high as 10%, but it depends on the amount. But if you're like looking at investing less than 500,000 or 1 million naira, the interest rate might not get up to 5%. And if you're an active investor, that's not a good investment for you. But if you're a passive investor, you really do not mind, and yeah, you can consider that. As the fifth on my list, we have treasury bills. Treasury bills is issued through banks when government needs money, as well as the bonds. So it's issued through the Central Bank of Nigeria. Treasury bills rates, it varies. You can get rate as high as like 8-7%. Previously or prior to now, treasury bills rates used to be as high as 15%. The economy is right now, it even went as low as 3% as at 2021, late 2020, early 2021. So but now it's picking up back, and I think it's about 7-8%. So you might want to contact your account manager, let them explain to you better, and give you the current interest rate that treasury bill is running out. Next on my list, we have retirement plans. So for the retirement plans, it can be from your workplace, it can be from your personal savings. So if you're a 9 to 5 worker, your employer has like a particular percentage that they pay to your retirement plan, and then you also have a particular percentage that you pay from your salary to your retirement plan. And if you're an entrepreneur, you can save money from your personal savings and save towards your retirement plan, because when you retire, maybe at the age of 40, 50, 60, depends on what age you want to retire, you really want to have something to fall back on. The seventh on my list is cryptocurrency. So for cryptocurrency is a digital currency that is being traded on a blockchain platform, right? And cryptocurrency is very volatile. So if you're a passive investor, please do not consider investing in cryptocurrency, because you're just going to give yourself an high blood pressure. Cryptocurrency is very volatile and does not have government backing, so it's very, very risky. Term for cryptocurrency is the higher the return, the higher the risk, or the higher the risk, the higher the return. It is very, very risky, and it can also get as high return as you can ever imagine. So if you're an active investor, you may consider it. If you like to take risk, you may consider. So on my list is education. Education is actually like an untapped investment part, or an untapped investment, right? And for education, it varies. You can liquid you are, because it can be capital intensive, but the return is very, very high. And you can also invest in a tutorial center, where you tutor people on how maybe to cook, how to sew, how to do, just think of it, right? So you can also invest in a tutorial center. Your educational investment can also be online, where you teach people on how to do things, and then you get your interest back. So it depends on what type of what type of educational sector you are looking at, and the capital also varies, but the return is just very high. So real estate. So due to the need of accommodation, that this demand of accommodation, you can look into having a landed property, building, rentals. It is actually a very, I think real estate it pays more, as in the profit is just wow, mind blowing, right? The capital is capital intensive, or it requires a lot of money, but you can come together with your friends to buy a particular plot of land and just keep it. In the next 5 years, you'll just be surprised at how much you guys are going to sell it. And if you have the money, you can just buy a plot of land like maybe 1 million, 1.5 million, and just keep it, just forget it there. In the next 5 years, you'll be shocked at how much you are going to sell it. So you may want to consider real estate as well. The risk is relatively low. I won't say it's high, but it depends on what you know type of real estate property that you're looking at. If it's landed property, the risk is low. If it's building, the risk might not be low, right? And if it's rentals as well, so you might need to like do some management and all that. So I just want to consider real estate as well. And also, the list is food. Yes, food is an investment. Human being need food. Without food, even if you are fasting, you still need food to break. So you may want to consider food as well, because the food give our body the nutrients it deserves and demand. You can set up a mega restaurant, or invest in a particular chef that that has nice delicacies, cook nice delicacies, and you can just browse more on, or just do your research more on food investments. It's actually a very profitable investment that will give you high income. The 12th on my list, I have hire purchase. So if you are a remote worker, you work from home, you have like 2 3, even a car that you don't really use during the week, you can let it out for hire purchase. You can let it out, let someone use it for maybe Bolt, Uber, or a private car that run and generate income for you, rather than you tying your car down and not using it for the whole week, and you're not even getting any income from it or any interest from it. So you might want to consider that as well. The last but not the least that I have here is agriculture. So you may consider, investing in maize, cassava, cattle. Yes, cattle rearing is actually a highly profitable investment. So you just imagine, we just acquired they needed to use ram to, that's for their big festive period. So they needed to use ram. So just imagine you, like you have you have already invested in ram, like ram cattle rearing and all that, like a year before, and by the time you are selling the ram, do you know how much you'll be getting? Because I know generates cool interest. Please drop it in the comment box. What I know currently is piggy vest. I don't know if there's any other one, so if you know any other one, please drop it in the comments box. This video to this very moment and you're here to subscribe, please, what are you waiting for? Please hit, smash that red button below, subscribe, please subscribe, and please don't forget to like, share, and drop that lovely comment. So I'd like to conclude with this: whether you have a huge capital to seal up your investment deals, or you have just a few thousand naira to spare, you can pick up from any of the investments lists that I've stated in this video. Just pick, research, and I'm sure you will definitely find one or two that you can consider, right? That you can consider to invest in, because if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, to make more money while you sleep, you just realize that you are working endlessly till you die. Yes. So guys, please do well to check the list I've stated, the list of investment I've stated in this video. Let me know if you find this video helpful. Let me know which investments that you'll be considering and you'll be researching more on. See you in my next video. Stay cool. Bye. Oh God, thank you.